Today's review, we're going to a brewery I haven't drank before, haven't reviewed before. This is a beer from the Weekend Project. It is an oat cream breakfast club cereal IPA. But what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review today. And brand new brewery for the channel. This is a Weekend Project. These are a fairly new brewery. I've heard good things about them, and I picked this one up because there were certain things in here that I just liked. It's an oat cream IPA. Now I've had oat cream IPAs before. You don't see many of them about. I've always enjoyed them because you get a nice thick body. You get that creamier sort of mouthfeel. And I don't know if I remember before when I had them, but I didn't notice of this one. This has got lactose in it as well. So it's got barley, wheats and oats and lactose. We don't know what the hops are. So that's the sort of thing that we've got to work out. And we know it's 6% and it's in a big 500ml can. So Weekend Project, they're actually not that far away from me. They're in a place called Lower Piova, which is sort of, if you know the northwest at all, it's sort of just outside of Knutsford. So it's sort of somewhere. I know if you're going towards Manchester and you're going on the 556, you go through Northwich, then you get to sort of Knutsford, and Lower Piova is like a little village just sort of near there, really. So it's a northwest, pretty local brewery to me. So I wanted to try it. I like the fact that they're making it in 500ml cans, and a breakfast club is the name of the beer. So let's crack it open, see what it's going to be about, see if we can work out what hops are in it. That's going to be the interesting thing, because again, I've seen a few of their beers advertised, and I'm sure they stated the hops. I'm quite surprised that we don't know what the hops are on this. So let's see. I've got a big pint IPA glass as well. It's certainly pouring a very light straw colour. I've got to admit, it's lighter than I thought for an oat cream IPA. It doesn't look as hazy and as full bodied as what we do expect. We've got two fingers, brightly white and very compacted sort of white, very compacted sort of ice white head, and this lovely straw colour beer. Not quite in the custard territory, but definitely yellow, very pale malts. See what the aroma's like. Well, it's juicy. You've got oranges and peaches and sweet sort of fruits. Might even have some like El Dorado in it. It's got that sort of aroma. Yeah, sort of just a mixture of very sort of sweet fruit aromas. Mango maybe, papaya, peach, as I said. Maybe a little sort of mandarin orange. Smells pretty good, very inviting. So let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Very juicy. Surprisingly, though, it's a very light sort of beer. I'm not getting that creamy body that I would expect of an oat cream IPA. It's almost got a little bit of carbonation. It almost drinks more like a pale. There's a little bit of that fizziness in the beer as well. Let me go in again. It's smooth. There's lots of citrus fruits actually in the flavour. The flavour's a bit different than the actual aroma. I'm getting a lot more lemons, lime, grapefruit. There's a little bit of earthiness in there. Not much, just a little hint of it. You don't really feel that you're getting. You would know that this has got lactose in it. It's not like, say, like the Gold Top double IPAs that we get from that we've had from Track. This doesn't, for me, you wouldn't know this is an oat cream IPA. There's a slight, I don't know what it is. I think it's just because it's probably a little too cold, because I took it out of the fridge about 20 minutes ago and I should have left it a bit longer, but I was thirsty and I wanted to try it. So it's a little bit a bit cold, I think. But there is a little bit of carbonation in there. And I think it's just, again, the lightness. You're not picking up the flavours as easily because it's not as medium to, medium bodied enough really for what I would expect from an oat cream IPA. But what you'll get is quite a lot of refreshment. So lots of citrus fruits. You also get a little bit of orange. I think, yeah, sweet mandarin orange is definitely the flavour that you're getting, but it's quite lemon heavy, light citrus heavy. I'm trying to really determine what hops I think are in it. I'd almost say it could probably be a Citra Mosaic beer. It's got that sort of flavour. I definitely think there's Citra in here. It's got a lot of the citrus stuff, the citrus fruits and the sort of tropicalness in the background. Definitely got that. I think tropical flavours, the lighter sort of papaya, maybe a little bit of a bit of mango flavour in there as well. But it's certainly a refreshing beer. I didn't expect it to be refreshing. When I read oat cream, I mean, the blurb on it says, burst with freshly squeezed tropical fruit combined with velvety oats, a creamy cereal sweetness, all wrapped in a full-bodied soft pour. I'm not getting that soft pour. I'm not getting the creamy body at all. But I'm not getting a bad beer. What I'm getting is a refreshing, juicy beer. There's a little bit of artificialness, and I think that's the lactose sort of interfering a little bit with the hops. But it's lemons and oranges, and there's a little bit of hint of grapefruit coming through. I think if it warms up, I get a bit more flavour from it. But, I mean, body-wise, it's just a bit too light for me. But it's a really easy drinking beer. I mean, I suppose at the end of the day, it's a 6% IPA, which I think is a little bit on the low side. If you told that, I mean, I've had pales that have got a more velvety body than this, especially from the likes of, say, Polly's. What other pales have I had recently that have had a good body to them? I don't drink many. I mean, I've had a couple from Rivington as well last year, and they were the pale ales, and they were quite good. Fairly full bodied for a pale. This is much more on that pale sort of side in terms of the body. And it sort of ruins it a little bit for me. But there's a lot of flavour, and I would be interested to know what the hops are, but I would probably bet on Citra Mosaic, and I probably wouldn't even say the other one that sometimes get there like Simcoe. There's not much earthiness in here. We're getting lots of light, crisp citrus fruit flavours, a little bit of hints of tropical flavours in the background, but they are very much in the background. I'm picking up more oranges and lemons really as the sort of the key flavours, and they're not really tropical fruits to them. But you could say, at a push, maybe a slight mango, papaya, slight passion fruit even. But, it's a good beer, but it's not really doing what I think an oat cream IPA should be doing. Flavours are there. It's fruity. It's a very drinkable beer. So let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for the Weekend. No, it's not called the Weekend. It's Weekend Project. That's the brewery. The beer is called Breakfast Club. It's an oat cream cereal IPA at 6%. We don't know what hops are in it. I'm guessing Citra Mosaic. Let's get the scores. Starting with aroma, appearance, flavour, value for money. Now, this was £5.75. I think that's a little bit expensive for a 6% IPA, even though it's in a bigger can. And finally, my overall experience. Well, we topped the scores up. It's a recommended. It's a 74 total score out of 100. So it's a recommended beer. It's probably a bit low. When it comes down to it, we drink a lot of beer. I think that you want to be getting over 75 to really sort of think, I'm going to seek out that beer and drink it. For me, it doesn't quite do the oat creamness about it. I expected, you read the blurb, you look at it, what it is, lots of oats, got added bit of lactose in it. You're expecting a really smooth, creamy beer. And you're not really getting that. I mean, I always think back of things like Daya and the mouthfeel of good Daya beers. They're more creamy than this and they don't have lactose in it. The body's a little light. A little bit of sweetness is coming in now. It's warmed up a little bit. There's more sweetness in there, and I think you're getting more of that sweetness from the oats and the lactose. But you're not quite getting the body. It's not quite there. I mean, maybe because it's only a 6%. Maybe if it was a double IPA, double oat cream IPA, you'd get more from it. But it's not quite up there. I thought maybe it might even be up there with a lighter version of, say, like the Gold Tops, but it's not quite up there. But Weekend Project, let me know if you've had anything from them before. As I say, they're a fairly new brewery, and they just started to appear in sort of some of the sort of, you know, the places like Trembling Madness and the likes of that. I don't even know if they've had them in Prost Bottle Shop, but I think they probably have. So they're sort of springing onto the scene. So it might be a brand new brewery you never heard of. But I say it's local to me, so you know I want to give it support, and I will try another beer from them because it's not a bad beer. It's just not quite as good, and maybe that 575 is a bit expensive considering that you know, even though it's a bigger can, it's not still quite good. Maybe just because it's got added lactose and that costs them a little bit more money. It probably does. So yeah, I mean those Gold Tops are really expensive when you look at the price of those, but not quite good enough in terms of the body for this beer. But hope you've enjoyed this video. Something a bit different, new breweries. So I've still got a couple of beers currently in the fridge from different breweries I haven't had before. So I'm looking forward to reviewing those, and hopefully we'll find some real great beers in that lot. And yeah, that's it for today. And until the next one, well, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, drink a craft beer, and of course, you remember, keep on rocking.